Well, moving on, we have to bring a special guest in, but before we get to him, let's see what Marcus Freeman had to say about him in my sit-down with him earlier in fall camp.
I mean, there's so many great players. I think of Chris Zorich. I think of the toughness that he brings. Like, you can never lack toughness.
Welcome to Inside the Game, our brand new segment this year, featuring none other than Notre Dame legend himself, Chris Zorich. Chris, thank you so much for being part of the show, and it's got to be pretty cool to hear Marcus Freeman talk about you like that.
You have no idea. As a little kid, I'm just kind of like, oh my God, even though I'm 56, right? I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. Wish I still have another year of eligibility so I could play for him, because those comments were amazing. Well,
back in your day, in your experience playing for Notre Dame, you played some of the biggest Notre Dame versus Miami games ever. Let's start with 1988.
Amazing game. However, yes, it was probably the iconic game of my college career, but at the time, we really didn't know how important it was, right? Because it was just another game on our schedule. I know that sounds crazy, but we never kind of looked ahead of games. So literally, if we're playing Navy, we're playing Navy, we're playing Miami, we're playing Miami. Didn't know until the end of the year that our toughest competition was the Miami game.
Exactly. Well, but next year, unfortunately, didn't go the same way in 1989. A lot of people don't know this, but what did Lou Holtz tell you guys before that matchup?
So as you can imagine, we're playing down there. They were pumped up, obviously, because we beat them the year before. We're excited because we know how dominant we could be. So there was a couple kind of name-calling sessions, let's say, before the game. Lou Holtz just jumped in between us, kind of had us going back in the locker room. When he got in the locker room, he said, guys, if you guys get another fight, I'm going to resign. We were all blown away. So you can imagine we're on 100. We're ready to go out there and kill somebody, and now he wants us back to zero and say, hey guys, sorry, but no fighting. So unfortunately, had he not done that, we actually could have had another ring.
That's a pretty tough situation to be in. Now let's go to this year's team with Marcus Freeman. He always seems to start his seasons off with tough games. Now a top 10 matchup on the road. What is it about starting a season like this?
It's great because now you're going to have a chance to kind of see where you stand against everybody else. Although Miami's are that high, the understanding of the fact that you had to practice hard for a great opponent spring, summer, and now you have a chance to go out there and prove yourself. So it's vitally important to actually play a really good opponent the first game of the year.
And then also making his first start will be none other than C.J. Carr at quarterback. What advice would you give him making his first start on a stage like this?
Yeah, it's really interesting because when you talk about how great Notre Dame quarterbacks are, yes, they're great, but they have to practice great as well. He didn't take all the reps throughout camp, which is not the best, but the fact that his backup, Mincy, did is good, but in a large scheme of things for him, is it good? Yes, but you would hope he took all the snaps during training camp.
Might be a little bit tough, but he's going to have this great defense to back him up. What does the Notre Dame defense have to focus on going up against Miami and Carson Beck?
The fact that he's a really good quarterback. You saw what he did at Georgia, ended up at Miami for whatever reason, but having the chance to kind of play, having the chance as a defense to play against a great quarterback is also going to be a test for them, so they'll have a chance to see how great they're going to be throughout the year, and of course you have a great defensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator in Chris Ash.
And I think you think they're going to do pretty well because this is your final score prediction.
Yes, I do. I wish I had a chance to cover up that one. I would love a shutout, right, for the first game of the year. Hopefully it will happen, maybe it won't. I kind of gave them some points, but what we haven't talked about is Jeremiah Lovin, a huge offensive line. I think they're going to go out there and play amazing. They have a great couple of receivers as well. It's going to be a high-scoring game for Notre Dame and a very low-scoring game for Miami.
Exactly what a defensive guy would like. Chris, thank you so much for joining us. Can't wait to have you on board this season. We'll be right back after this.